David R. Montgomery back on the show and to welcome Anne Biklé for the first time here. They published the book, What Your Food Ate, which I can highly, highly recommend.
The soil, animals, and the human body. And you're talking about the connections between each of those really horribly complex systems.
It gets very, very complex, yeah.
Science wasn't really ready with explanations when some of these connections were first posited and kicked around, and so they weren't given much credence. One of the things we really had to do in writing this book was dive into a whole bunch of different fields: soil science, agronomy, animal husbandry, human health, and both chronic and infectious diseases.
I think we're really early in that research, Koen, because for so long, nutritional research and, dietary pundits have just mostly been focused on fats, carbohydrates, and protein as that's what we all need to think about in our food. One thing that was sort of lacking in the literature is a specific assessment of soil health alongside a specific assessment of a crop on two neighboring farms. So what we're doing here is we're getting the same crop, the same soil, and yet different practices.
We wanted to look at these soil health building practices. And so we measured soil organic matter and soil health to try and see whether the regenerative farms, actually had healthier soil than their neighboring conventional farms. On average, there were differences in what was coming off the crops as well. And most strikingly and consistently across the board were differences in the phytochemical levels. Whereas grass-fed animals, grass-fed ruminants, have a much higher omega-3 content in their fats. And it turns out that translates over into meat and dairy. And so the human diet has changed greatly because of how we changed our livestock diet. And one of the big conclusions of the book is that, what's good for the land is good for us too. And so that as we look at investment opportunities in the agricultural sector, doing better by the land should add value to what comes off the land in terms of its connection to human health.